Introduction. I am the true daughter of the Lin family, lost for over a decade. In my previous life, after my parents welcomed me back home, I fell victim to the machinations of a deceitful imposter, the so-called fake daughter. She fell down the stairs, yet I was accused of jealousy and pushed her. Despite her being unharmed, she fabricated a terminal illness, demanding that I donate my only kidney. My family, utterly convinced of her innocence, grew disillusioned with me. Ultimately, she bribed a corrupt doctor to falsify compatibility results, leading to my demise on the operating table. Given a second chance at life, I initially considered surrendering to fate, only to discover that my family could hear my innermost thoughts. Is this truly the case? Well, this time, I shall not hold back. 1. Lin Xiaoxiao, you can rest easy and die. Your life will be completely taken over by me. Lin Miao Miao emerged triumphantly from behind the curtain beside the operating table, regarding me with smug satisfaction. You're still unaware, aren't you? You are inherently deficient, possessing but one kidney. Moreover, I've known your whereabouts for quite some time. Can you guess why that gambler who adopted you treats you so poorly? Lin Miao Miao, were you behind all of this? Do you intend to kill me? If you dare to act on this, our parents will never forgive you. I glared at her in terror and fury, my entire being trembling. Lin Xiaoxiao, do you really think they would believe I was responsible for your death? Her once innocent, fair face twisted into a triumphant grin. It then dawned on me that she was unscathed. The so-called terminal illness and compatibility tests were all part of her sinister plot. She had deliberately orchestrated this to compel me to donate my only kidney to her. She had bribed an unscrupulous doctor, altering compatibility results and replacing my single kidney's examination report. Ultimately, she aimed to see me perish on the operating table. Refusing to accept such a silent demise, I glared at her with bloodshot eyes and demanded, if my body is wheeled out like this, how will you explain it? Lin Miao Miao replied with a chilling smile, my dear sister, you remain so naive. I shall tell our parents that you harbored resentment over the kidney donation and wished to sever ties with them, departing abroad with the 10 million in compensation. And the body? Why would I allow them to see it? She waved a gold card before my eyes, saying, look, this was originally meant for you, but it now belongs to me. You can rest easy now, farewell, or rather, never to be seen again. The corrupt doctor administered a lethal dose of anesthetic, pushing me towards the morgue. Memories began to resurface, culminating in the image of Lin Miao Miao's triumphant face. My consciousness gradually faded. When I opened my eyes again, astonishingly, I found myself returned 3 years into the past. My biological parents, clad in exquisite attire, stood before my cramped rental apartment. Xiao Xiao, mother has finally found you. My mother rushed forward, embracing me. Still dazed from my rebirth, confusion clouded my mind. Lin Miao Miao's voice echoed, we've finally located our sister mother, and father will no longer weep in sorrow. This is truly wonderful. My mind cleared in an instant. Lin Miao Miao? What a long-awaited reunion. I gazed at her, and she forced a tearful smile, her expression leading no one to doubt her genuine joy at my return. Her understanding nature always evokes an overwhelming sense of pity. Indeed, in the following moment, my mother hurriedly released me to comfort Lin Miao Miao. Miao Miao, do not worry. Even if Xiao Xiao returns, I shall not neglect you. Both of you are my beloved children. Lin Miao Miao, my mother's adopted daughter for many years, is gentle and considerate. Even without a blood bond, my mother loves her dearly. In my previous life, Lin Miao Miao consistently displayed this heart-wrenching demeanor, which only deepened my family's sympathy towards her. In contrast, I found myself gradually becoming a source of disappointment for my family, leading them to disregard me entirely. Miao Miao, your mother, and I will not overlook you simply because Xiao Xiao has come back, my father reassured, affectionately ruffling Lin Miao Miao's hair. Here it was, a scene identical to that of my past existence. They were all joyous, while I stood to the side, feeling utterly helpless, akin to an outsider. Though I had done nothing wrong and was uninvolved, her pretense led everyone to believe that my existence was the cause of Lin Miao Miao's perceived suffering. I couldn't help but smirk inwardly. What a charade. If you were truly happy for me, would you choose to speak up while mother embraced me, and with your hands digging into your skin? If you dislike me, then simply state it. Being duplicitous is the most repugnant behavior. It seemed my father had caught wind of something. He glanced at Lin Miao Miao's tightly clenched hands before turning to me with a puzzled expression. What are you staring at, Dad? Your green tea daughter is covertly undermining her biological sister, and you remain blissfully oblivious? But then again, if he were perceptive enough to see through it, he wouldn't have been so easily deceived by this adopted daughter for all these years. My father fixed his gaze on me, unblinking, and the silence around us was palpable. I did not utter a word, yet he undeniably sensed something. Was this the legendary bond of connection between father and daughter? While they basked in familial affection, I turned and retreated to my rented room. Having arrived, the next step is undoubtedly to bring the daughter home tut. And then that green tea daughter will surely feign fainting, leading us to the hospital where a doctor will diagnose her with low blood sugar and exhaustion. Thus, she will further cultivate her image as the ideal daughter. Mother, who had not been attentive moments ago, now seemed to have caught on. Xiao Xiao, what did you say? I turned to face her. Nothing much. Internally, I lamented. Mother is so naive, she cannot even discern such a rudimentary act of deception. Just wait and see. 3 seconds until the act unfolds. 1, 2, 3. As I grappled with my own thoughts, Lin Miao Miao gracefully succumbed to unconsciousness. My mother, filled with uncertainty, turned to glance at her, only to discover that Lin Miao Miao had indeed fainted. What should have been a moment of concern unexpectedly shifted her mood. My father, feeling somewhat awkward, held Lin Miao Miao's hand, experiencing an inexplicable discomfort. I rolled my eyes with a smile, thinking, someone has fainted. We must rush her to the hospital. Internally, I grumbled, hurry and take her away, lest the delay in treatment be blamed on me. My parents exchanged a knowing glance and sighed in unison. My father summoned the driver to transport Lin Miao Miao to the hospital, ensuring she received the finest medical attention. Meanwhile, he and my mother began to assist me in gathering my belongings. After all, I was their biological daughter, and despite my years of absence, they still held feelings for me. However, compared to the profound bond they shared with Lin Miao Miao over the years, their affection for me felt significantly more tenuous. In my previous life, it was Lin Miao Miao's repeated betrayals that led to my parents' utter disappointment in me, erasing even the scant remnants of their affection. My father looked at me with remorse, saying, Xiao Xiao, it is our fault as your parents that you have endured such hardship alone for so many years. When I initially went missing, they searched tirelessly, only to eventually adopt a child from an orphanage, naming her Lin Miao Miao. I, on the other hand, was rescued by a scavenger who subjected me to daily beatings and abuse, even contemplating forcing me into a life of prostitution as I grew older, allowing men to lay hands on me. My life then was steeped in darkness and despair. Fortunately, on the day I reached adulthood, the scavenger was beaten to death due to gambling debts. I felt no sorrow. Rather, I rejoiced internally at my newfound freedom. When I received the news of his demise, I wept inconsolably, not out of gratitude for his upbringing, but from the overwhelming joy of finally embracing my rebirth. Before long, my parents knocked on my door, claiming to be my true biological parents. I believed I had finally found my home. However, this home included Lin Miao Miao, a girl who wished for my disappearance at every turn. Just as in my previous life, Lin Miao Miao began to weave her schemes the moment my parents and I reunited. Yet, it struck me as odd that my parents, who had always been sympathetic towards her in the past, did not accompany her to the hospital this time. Before I could ponder this further, my younger brother, Lin Shin, entered the room, his small face immediately contorted with concern. Where is my sister? Where has she gone? My parents reassured him, explaining that Lin Miao Miao was unwell and had been taken to the hospital. Lin Shen immediately protested. Why aren't you going with her? Now that you've found your biological child, are you going to abandon my sister? I couldn't help but admire Lin Shen's unexpected support. Without Lin Miao Miao's incessant whispers in his ear this time, the 9-year-old spoke his mind. In my previous life, he had been led to detest me by Lin Miao Miao's manipulations, engaging in all manner of pranks at my expense. This time was no different. His young age made it difficult for him to accept that his sister had suddenly become someone else's. Now, seeing that Lin Miao Miao was absent, his disdain for me only intensified. My parents' expressions shifted, reflecting a newfound complexity in their gaze toward him. In the depths of the forest, chaos ensued as my father summoned a bodyguard to forcibly extract Lin Shen and confine him within the vehicle. I, on the other hand, displayed a wounded expression, pondering why my mother and younger brother harbored such disdain towards me. Had I committed some grave error? Internally, I mused. My foolish father is utterly oblivious. His son is being influenced by an adopted daughter, and should he inherit the family business, will he favor her or himself? What if he grows fond of that adopted girl? That would be a disaster. I then observed my father's countenance shift dramatically, while my mother's gaze grew peculiar. What is the matter with you both? I inquired, perplexed. My parents exchanged glances and shook their heads. You should think less about such trivial matters, dear. As a girl, It's best to cultivate a simpler mindset. I thought to myself, am I overthinking this? Lin Shun has always known that Lin Miao Miao is not his biological sister. My mother placed her hand gently on my shoulder and reassured me, Xiao Xiao, do not overthink it. Your brother's explanations are somewhat forced. Even he does not believe them. In my previous life, they could not hear my innermost thoughts, leaving them unable to discern truth from falsehood, which placed me at a disadvantage. Moreover, I was unaware that the seemingly gentle and kind sister harbored deadly intentions beneath her faade. Thus, with a slight nudge from Lin Miao Miao, any criticism directed at me would inevitably be misconstrued as my fault. Naturally, they would trust their well-raised daughter over me. Though I felt sorrow, I had come to terms with my rebirth. After all, in my parents' and brothers' hearts, I could never measure up to Lin Miao Miao, who had been with them for 20 years. In my past life, I struggled to communicate emotionally with them. However, this time, I resolved to be forthright. When dealing with someone like Lin Miao Miao, the best approach is to confront her directly. Upon entering the vehicle, Lin Shun regarded me with palpable disdain. I shot him a glance, thinking, what good is your disdain? I disdain you too, you inconsiderate child who cannot distinguish right from wrong. My brother was not inherently malicious. He had merely been led astray by Lin Miao Miao, but with timely correction, he could be steered back on course. You, what are you saying? You find me repugnant? He exclaimed. Huh? I haven't uttered a word, I thought, pondering whether he could indeed hear my thoughts. Before I could fully comprehend the situation, Lin Shun turned indignantly to our mother to lodge a complaint. His previous mild aversion towards me had now blossomed into genuine animosity. Mom, your son is going mad. I feigned weakness, clutching her sleeve. My mother's lips twitched as she restrained my agitated brother. You little rascal, this is your biological sister. She has endured much hardship over the years. We are her closest family and must not disdain her. We must treat her well, understand? I thought to myself. This is futile. The stubborn boy is set in his ways. My father, exasperated, rubbed his temples and playfully tapped Lin Shun on the head. From now on, you shall not be rude to your sister. Lin Shun was thoroughly aggrieved. He had done nothing wrong, yet he felt bullied by both his sister and mother. Sister Miao Miao is truly the best. I deliberately shrank into the corner. Disdain me if you must. It is not the first time after all. At worst, I can simply keep my distance. Hearing my inner thoughts, my parents' eyes shimmered with profound tenderness, and their guilt towards me deepened. Xiao Xiao, I am so sorry. It is entirely my fault for not bringing you back and protecting you properly. I do not understand why I fell asleep after just a cup of coffee and lost you. Lin Shun's small face was etched with conflict, and after a long pause he stammered, No, I do not disdain you. And I apologize. I would not hold grudges against a child. The bad person is not you. My parents comforted me throughout the journey, and upon returning home, they led me to the room they had prepared for me in advance. Given their unusual behavior during the trip, I had already concluded that they could hear my thoughts. If that were the case, matters would be much simpler. That evening, as I stepped out of my room to use the restroom, my father remarked, Darling, you know Xiao Xiao has had such a hard life because of us. We failed to care for our daughter properly. My father sighed, and I understood, yet he advised, let's refrain from speaking such words too often, lest we remind the child of her past. I pondered if we had perhaps spoiled Miao Miao too much. My mother paused, asserting, Children are innocent. I can empathize with Miao Miao. After being a little princess for 20 years, it is natural for her to feel anxious with a biological daughter around. However, she quickly shifted her stance, still favoring Lin Miao Miao, declaring, After all, I have raised Miao Miao for 20 years. My heart inevitably leans towards her. Should she and Xiao Xiao not get along in the future, we shall invest more in Xiao Xiao as a form of compensation. A compensation for me? I scoffed silently. It seemed more like a way to assuage their own feelings of guilt. Ultimately, Lin Miao Miao was the one who mattered more to them now. Their biological daughter, was merely a regret from their past. Perhaps it was due to their guilt that they did not intend to show outright favoritism towards Lin Miao Miao from the outset. They even arranged for both Lin Miao Miao and me to attend the same university. However, as a child raised by scavengers, I could barely read. How could I possibly attend college, let alone a prestigious one? It would be an embarrassment, yet they did not care. Their child, even if bought, must possess a diploma from a renowned university. Miao Miao, please take good care of Xiao Xiao, my mother reminded me before the start of the school week. She gazed at Lin Miao Miao's poised and elegant attire, her satisfaction evident. Our Meow Meow is becoming more and more beautiful. In comparison, my gaunt figure made me appear as though I had come from the countryside. Upon returning home for the weekend, when my mother saw me still dressed simply, she expressed her discontent, saying, "Didn't Ti Xiao Xiao's mother give you money? As a girl, you should dress up more. This way, we won't lose face for the Shin family. Just look at how lovely Meow Meow is." To put it plainly, my mother did not truly care about my appearance. She was solely concerned with her own image and the reputation of the Shin family. Taking advantage of her dissatisfaction, my thoughts echoed once more. What did she buy for me? What did I not see? Didn't everything go into Lin Meow Meow's room? This inner voice successfully revealed Lin Meow Meow's previous subtle actions. Observing my mother's peculiar expression, she earnestly advised Lin Meow Meow, "Meow Meow, if you desire anything, just tell your mother. Do not bully your sister. Be good." Lin Meow Meow's complexion paled. She could not fathom how my mother had discerned something that was supposed to be secret. They knew they could hear my innermost thoughts. Thus they were utterly convinced that what I harbored within was indeed true. In the next moment, my mother regarded me with an odd expression. "But Xiao Xiao, what have you done with the card I gave you?" I slowly raised my head to meet her gaze. "I used it for meals." I pulled out my phone to show her the bill. My expenditures consisted solely of dining and books, and I had not spent more than 300 yuan in a week. My mother appeared somewhat shocked. "Why have you spent so little?" I feigned indifference. As long as I have food to eat and books to read, what else should a student concern themselves with? I thought to myself. Only those with a twisted mindset flaunt material possessions. Excessive luxury will only lead to one's downfall. My inner voice altered my mother's demeanor. She likely recalled the hardships she and my father faced in their youth while starting their business, and a flicker of approval passed through her eyes. "Indeed, you are truly the offspring of me and old Lin." Upon hearing this, Lin Meow Meow's expression instantly stiffened. My mother ruffled my hair. While frugality is a commendable habit, as a daughter of the Lin family, one must maintain a semblance of dignity. I shrugged, contemplating, well, if I can dress well, why not? This thought successfully brightened my mother's countenance. However, my mother still favored Lin Meow Meow in her heart. She advised me, "Xiao Xiao, learn from your sister at school." Before she could finish her sentence, I thought to myself, learn what from her? How to juggle 3 or 4 school heartthrobs. In that instant, I witnessed my mother's expression shift dramatically. Then Lin Meow Meow feigned the role of a good sister. "Xiao Xiao, if you transfer to my class, I will surely take good care of you, and will not let anyone bully you." Only upon hearing this did my mother's expression soften. I rolled my eyes internally, adding, "As if you would care for me. You were the one who spread the news that I was a girl plucked from the slums. I overheard you laughing behind my back with those sycophantic students, mocking me as a country bumpkin." This green tea act of hers needed to be exposed. I would not allow her to play both sides again. Having suffered once in my past life, I would never endure it again in this one. My mother paused and said, "Never mind, Xiao Xiao has just returned. Let her acclimatize first. There's no rush." The next day, on the way to school, my mother shoved me into the car that Cheng Jianyan, the son of the Cheng family, was using to drop off his son at school. Cheng Jianyan is the son of a family closely connected with the Lin family. He comes from a well-off family, possesses handsome features, and is the dreamboat of countless affluent girls, including Lin Meow Meow, who had longed for him in my past life. Her animosity towards me largely stems from the fact that I am the legitimate heiress. Even before I was born, our families had arranged a marriage between us. As I alighted from the luxurious car of the Cheng family at the school gate, I could feel the envious gazes of numerous girls upon me. Clad in a simple school uniform, I stood side by side with Cheng Jianyan, Lin Meow Meow, stepping out of a car from the Lin family adorned in designer labels. Momentarily concealed the jealousy flickering in her eyes. Another exquisitely refined girl approached her, casting a disdainful glance in my direction. "Meow Meow, do you know how this country girl you brought back from the countryside managed to descend from the Cheng family's car?" Upon hearing this, Lin Meow Meow appeared troubled and replied, "Ting Ting, some matters are best left unspoken." She feigned a look of grievance, her eyes reddening slightly, as she added, "There are family secrets of the Lin clan that cannot be divulged to outsiders." Her words altered the way the others regarded me. "Let us just consider Xiao Xiao as my biological sister. If we say too much, it might upset her. She had always maintained an innocent and demure image at school, and now her words led everyone to perceive me as the one who bullied her." Jiang Ting, already Lin Meow Meow sycophant, immediately grasped the implication. She pushed me hard, exclaiming, "You, a bastardy daughter, dare to entice young Master Cheng here? How shameless can you be?" I stumbled momentarily from the force of her shove, but upon regaining my balance, I regarded her with a cold stare. At that moment, Cheng Jinian pulled me closer to his side. Who says Xiao Xiao is a bastardie? I cast him a grateful glance. He was still the brother who had always stood up for me in my memories. Jiang Ting, however, became agitated, her expression turning fierce. Jinian, what are you saying? Why are you defending this shameless, illegitimate child? Don't be deceived by her pitiful appearance. She pointed an accusatory finger at me. I stepped forward and slapped Jiang Ting across the face. Shut your foul mouth. Jiang Ting screamed. How dare you hit me? Why wouldn't I? I replied with a smile that was anything but genuine, looking at Lin Miao Miao. Sister Miao Miao, aren't you going to say something? Lin Miao Miao's expression wavered. She finally spoke with a hint of insincerity. Ting Ting, you've misunderstood. Xiao Xiao is not an illegitimate child. After saying this, she turned to me with a feigned concern for her sister, scolding me. Xiao Xiao, regardless of the circumstances, you shouldn't have hit Ting Ting. This is truly embarrassing for our family. Our parents will be upset if they find out. Lin Miao Miao always positioned herself as the innocent party, claiming she was unable to intervene, forever the one deserving of sympathy. Don't bully Miao Miao. If you have grievances, direct them at me. Jiang Ting shielded Lin Miao Miao, her eyes filled with profound disdain. Though the Lin family princess was not to be trifled with, she would never let this matter rest. You slapped me, and I will remember this. Sister, do you wish to clarify to your dear friend whether I am indeed the rightful child of the Lin family? Lin Miao Miao ignored my inquiry, adopting a demeanor that suggested she wished for me to cease my antics. Xiao Xiao, you've just transferred and already caused such a scene with your classmates. This is truly inappropriate. Returning home, I shall refrain from discussing this with my parents, yet you must also exercise restraint. In my previous life, she adopted the guise of a benevolent older sister, leading me to be forsaken by all. She made me naively believe that her intentions were rooted in genuine concern for my well-being. I discerned that the instigator was Jiang Ting, while Lin Xiaoxiao acted merely in self-defense. Cheng Jinian's gaze was inscrutable, betraying no discernible emotions. Nevertheless, his voice resonated with unwavering conviction. I cast a grateful glance toward him. Though we were yet unacquainted in this lifetime, he remained the sole individual steadfastly by my side. In my past existence, everyone assumed my jealousy manifested as I wielded my true identity to torment Lin Miao Miao, but only he placed his faith in me. The day prior to my demise at Lin Miao Miao's hands, he had invited me for a stroll. Alas, I pondered how he might have perceived Lin Miao Miao's deceitful fabrications in our previous life. Upon Cheng Jinian's utterance, Lin Miao Miao's expression darkened instantaneously, her feigned smile barely maintained. Brother Jinian, how can you say such things about Ting Ting? She merely misunderstood. She was only trying to defend me. Cheng Jinian cast her a sidelong glance. Did you not claim that Lin Xiaoxiao is your sister? If your sister is being bullied, why do you side with the instigator? What is your true intent? Lin Miao Miao found herself momentarily at a loss for words, her face aflame. Rarely had she ever faced such humiliation, and yet it was I who caused her to falter before the very person she admired. The venomous glances she cast in my direction were unmistakable. Before long, our advisor summoned us into the office. Upon entering, I was greeted by my mother's displeased countenance. Lin Xiaoxiao, how could you resort to violence? Her fury was palpable, and at that moment my inner voice echoed, how can she accuse me so indiscriminately? I am undoubtedly the legitimate daughter. When did I become the illegitimate child in Jiang Ting's narrative? Shouldn't such slander invite retribution? At this juncture, Lin Miao Miao interjected, Mother, Xiao Xiao did not intend to. It was merely a misunderstanding. In an instant, my mother's ire intensified, yet her anger pivoted. Who dares to declare my daughter an illegitimate child? She is my legitimate daughter, born after 10 months of gestation. I scoffed inwardly. Lin Miao Miao certainly wishes to conceal my identity. Otherwise, how could she continue to enjoy the privileges associated with being the Lin family's esteemed daughter? How else could she elevate her status by belittling mine? I seized the moment to speak. Mother, while Jiang Ting did spread rumors and pushed me, I acknowledged that I should not have struck first. My mother was already aware of the misunderstanding, yet she remained reluctant to fully accept Lin Miao Miao's malicious nature. With an apologetic expression, she said, You are my precious daughter, a true heiress. Anyone who dares to label you an illegitimate child is seeking trouble. Moreover, I believe you are not the kind of impulsive child. She continued, Did I not instruct your sister to look after you? If you are in need, she will surely assist you. Is that truly the case? Thank you, mother. My heart whispered. So, I am also believed in and valued? How wonderful. But will she genuinely help me? Why then does she allow others to label me as an illegitimate child without intervening? As I pondered these thoughts, I bowed my head, quietly wiping away my tears. My mother felt an even deeper pang of sympathy, as she had always shown favoritism towards Lin Miao Miao, leaving me with a sense of guilt. She could never have anticipated that the discord between Jiang Ting and myself stemmed from Jiang Ting's belief that I was an illegitimate child. And Lin Miao Miao remained entirely silent on the matter. At that moment, Jiang Ting, accompanied by her mother, entered the room and overheard my words. She unleashed a barrage of insults. How dare you call Madame Lin mother? You, a disreputable illegitimate child. My parents still favored Lin Miao Miao, which is why they had never publicly acknowledged my identity, treating Lin Miao Miao as their biological daughter. In my previous life, Lin Miao Miao had bullied me mercilessly, as everyone perceived me as the illegitimate child who had usurped her father's affection. With a pitiful gaze directed at my mother, I pleaded, Mother, could you please inform Jiang Ting that I am not an illegitimate child? I have a mother. Why must she insist that I am one? Moreover, Sister Miao Miao hasn't offered a word of explanation. My mother's expression turned even more remorseful as she embraced me tightly, saying, Xiao Xiao, it is my fault. I failed to protect you. Lin Miao Miao attempted to clarify. Xiao Xiao has misunderstood me. I wanted to explain, but she struck Ting Ting without warning. Yet, in my mother's eyes, I was the one who had suffered the greatest injustice. She had no time to heed Lin Miao Miao's words and sternly addressed Jiang Ting. Xiao Xiao is indeed my biological daughter. If you continue to spread such rumors, the Lin family will take legal action against you. Naturally, Jiang Ting feared the Lin family. She was straightforward and often lacked the ability to think things through. But, Madam Lin, isn't Miao Miao also your biological daughter? The moment those words escaped her lips, Lin Miao Miao's face turned pale with panic. So, that was the crux of the matter. Jiang Ting continued to murmur, but her expression shifted dramatically as she regarded Lin Miao Miao with newfound contempt. Coming from a wealthy background, Jiang Ting merely found herself in a family of lesser stature than the Lins. Her friendship with Lin Miao Miao had been a means of climbing the social ladder. If Lin Miao Miao were merely a counterfeit heiress, what reason did she have to fawn over her? Since that day, Jiang Ting's attitude towards Lin Miao Miao underwent a profound transformation. What began as flattery and appeasement morphed into unabashed disdain. She even publicly mocked, a fake is still a fake. Who knows when your good fortune will come to an end? Lin Miao Miao, seething with anger, could do nothing in response. She had maintained a facade of empathy to the outside world. Thus, she sought out Jiang Ting, hoping to mend their rift. Ting Ting, could there be some misunderstanding between us? She implored, biting her lip in a manner that rendered her seemingly pitiful, as though she had been victimized by Jiang Ting. Lin Miao Miao, who are you trying to deceive with this act? Do you not realize that I have long since grown weary of your pretentiousness? Initially, I spared you some courtesy because you are a Lin family lady, but it turns out you are nothing but an impostor, pretending to be a grand wolf. As she spoke, Jiang Ting, feeling unsatisfied, seized Lin Miao Miao's hair, causing her to wince in pain, her composure shattered. If you are not a true heiress, you ought to keep a low profile, otherwise you will face the consequences. The surrounding classmates instantly began to murmur amongst themselves, exclaiming, what? Lin Miao Miao is actually a counterfeit. She is not the true daughter of the Lin family. Thus, Lin Xiao Xiao is indeed the true heiress, while Lin Miao Miao had previously been so self-satisfied, only to discover that she is a counterfeit. It is utterly laughable. Lin Miao Miao has always adopted a green tea persona, inciting intense dislike from many female students at school. However, previously, due to her status as the eldest daughter of the Lin family, they refrained from offending her. Now that her true heritage has been revealed, they openly discuss her and even post about it on the campus forum. In no time, the entire school became aware of Lin Miao Miao's false identity. Naturally, she could not bear the humiliation and tearfully sought out Cheng Jinyan. With a quivering lip and tear-streaked face, she implored, Jinyan, do you also disregard me now that you know I am not the true heiress? Cheng Jinyan did not even lift his eyelids, replying coldly, when have I ever paid you any heed?
What is so great about Lin Xiao Xiao?
Lin Miao Miao shouted in indignation. At least she is genuine. With that final remark, Cheng Jinyan departed, leaving Lin Miao Miao alone, her eyes shrouded in a murky haze. During the weekend, I returned home with Lin Miao Miao. Throughout the journey, she remained silent, her gaze sharp and vengeful. Lin Miao Miao had endured a week of scrutiny from her classmates, some even tearing her books and gluing her chair. Such experiences mirrored my own from a past life. Upon returning home, my father had learned of the quarrel between Jiang Ting and me. He gently stroked my head, saying, "Xiao Xiao, I have wronged you over the years. In a few days, I will host a recognition banquet to ensure everyone knows you are the true daughter of the Lin family." In their eyes, even if the affection was lacking, they would not allow anyone to deride me as an illegitimate child. They could not afford to lose face. Listening to my father's words, Lin Miao Miao's expression shifted multiple times before she ultimately subdued her emotions. "Father, what about that sister?" I imitated Lin Miao Miao's green tea demeanor, suggesting, "Let us say you and Miao Miao are fraternal twins. That will have to suffice. If others don't believe it, there's nothing I can do." Upon hearing this, Lin Miao Miao's countenance darkened further. If others did not believe it, it implied they questioned her identity. In the elite circle, belief was secondary. The Lin family's stance was paramount. As my parents retreated to their rooms, Lin Miao Miao called out to me from the corridor's corner. "Lin Xiao Xiao, you must be feeling quite triumphant." Observing her expression, I felt a smirk creeping onto my face. "Lin Miao Miao, have you finally dropped the facade? Do you regret not allowing that gambler to eliminate me back then? Do you know?" Lin Miao Miao gazed at me, her expression fraught with suspicion. I remained silent, for out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Lin Xin eavesdropping from around the corner, his little legs scurrying off to my parents' room. Very well, this farce is set to conclude. Some truths are ready to surface. As I caught sight of the hem of clothing at the corner, a smile graced my lips. "Enough, Lin Miao Miao, cease your pretense. I am aware of everything. I know that the gambler who adopted me was sought out by your biological mother. He told me early on that someone coveted my life and that I was obstructing another's path." Upon hearing my words, her demeanor twisted into a grotesque mask of fury. "So, you return to reclaim what rightfully belongs to you and to drive me away?" I wore an expression of innocence, yet little did you know that your reckless actions had unveiled your true self. How could you be so careless as to leave not one, but 2 identification cards lying about? It was only a matter of time before I stumbled upon them. "Lin Xiao Xiao, you trespassed into my room and rummaged through my belongings. Your audacity knows no bounds. Is it my fault? Mother sent me to summon you for dinner. Little did I expect your confidence would lead you to leave your ID blatantly displayed on the table. Furthermore, even in the Lin residence, albeit in the garden, could you not lower your voice while on the phone?" I retrieved my phone, opened the recording app, and the conversation between Lin Miao Miao and her mother echoed through the air. In a fit of rage, she snatched my phone and hurled it to the ground, trampling it with fervor. "So, what if you recorded it? Just destroy it. You wait and see, Lin Xiao Xiao, I will eventually drive you out." "Enough," Father thundered as he emerged from the staircase. "Who would have thought that the daughter we have raised for so many years would turn out to be so unworthy of respect? Do you realize that when Xiao Xiao first returned, your mother was concerned about your feelings and even sided with you?" Mother, wiping her tears, lamented, "Meow meow. You have truly broken our hearts." Lin Shun's small face flushed with anger. "You are so cruel. Please allow me to explain." Lin Miao Miao pleaded anxiously, desperate to clarify her side of the story, but in her haste, she overlooked the phone she had just crushed beneath her feet. As she stepped on it, she lost her balance and fell flat on the ground. "Ah!" Her head collided with the corner of the corridor, blood gushing forth in an instant. Upon witnessing this, our parents' fury evaporated, for life is indeed precious. When we arrived at the hospital, the doctor diagnosed Lin Miao Miao with a severe concussion. Even if she were to regain consciousness, her mental state might be compromised. Guilt washed over our parents immediately. My inner voice resonated at that moment. "Dr. Zhou? This cannot be the same doctor Zhou Miao Miao had contacted. Perhaps I am overthinking it. Surely, the doctor would not conspire against others alongside her." However, the medical report in Miao Miao's room bore striking discrepancies from mine. Father, upon hearing my thoughts, felt a chill run down his spine and cast a glance at the doctor's name tag before dialing his assistant to investigate. The findings sent shivers down my spine. Just like in my previous life, Dr. Zhou had altered my medical results, creating a forged diagnosis and compatibility report. It became clear that Lin Miao Miao had made up her mind to harm me at this very moment in our past. Consequently, she had colluded with that unscrupulous doctor to harvest my kidney, administering anesthesia to leave me to perish in the morgue. What I had not anticipated was that the nefarious doctor was none other than Lin Miao Miao's biological father. Father, clutching a pile of documents, Presented a paternity test result linking Dr. Zhou and Lin Miao Miao, my medical report retrieved from her possession, a forged renal failure report, and a similarly falsified compatibility result. His gaze fixated on the lines stating biological kinship and the inherent deficiency of possessing but one kidney. After a prolonged silence, he cast the documents into the trash bin, his expression darkening. Ultimately, Lin Miao Miao was committed to a mental health facility, while her father faced charges for attempted grievous bodily harm and was imprisoned. The individual who had once sought my demise in a past life met with a dismal fate. My parents held a grand ceremony of recognition for me, and the entire aristocratic circle is aware that the sole heiress of the Lin family is named Lin Xiaoxiao. Even Lin Shen shyly called me sister. Yet, I find myself seemingly indifferent to it all. I am acutely aware of the tenuous bond one share with the Lin family. During the recognition ceremony, Cheng Jinyan stepped into the light, his demeanor remarkably calm and carefree. What could he be pondering, so lost in thought, my little mud figure? I gazed at him in astonishment, realizing that he still remembered me. He smiled in silence and took my hand. Of course, he remembered the wife he had sought after. He had been searching for me all these years. It is no wonder that in my previous life, he always appeared just in time whenever I faced adversity. I recalled how, during moments when my parents misunderstood me, he would timely come to my aid. I remembered a long time ago before I became lost. Playing in the garden one day, when a remarkably clean little boy pointed at me and called me little mudfish. I hesitated for a brief moment before grasping his hand in return. This lifetime is ultimately different. Lin Miao Miao's schemes have all crumbled. And it is time for me to continue moving forward.